What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Monday, October 21st, 2024, and we are back with another live here on the Taurean Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. If you are new to the channel, also be sure to share this stream as far and possible as you can. I know that I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know YouTube is doing something funny with my channel these last couple of weeks. I've been stuck at 69.8 whatever subscribers for like the last month. So I know they doing something funny with my channel because I be seeing the numbers go up and down even when they think I don't be seeing it. I know, and the fact that I only got 40 people in here right now, that's crazy. So I already know what they're doing, but I just chalk it up to it's that time of the year again, because this has happened to me before multiple times in the past. Then all of a sudden a boost happens and then everything starts to go back up again. But it is what it is. But for those who are here, I'm glad that you are here. Make sure you go ahead and hit the like button and all of that good stuff. Shout out to all of the members, all of the subscribers, everybody over there on Patreon, everybody over there in Discord, all of that good stuff. And see, as soon as I said that, it dropped right down to 31. So I know they're doing something crazy. But anyway, y'all see the title. We are here to talk about Fatlock again. It seems like there's never a time when we aren't talking about him. But he made the most crazy, one of the craziest comments yet that you could think of as it pertains to Caitlin Clark. But before I get into all of that, let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far in the chat. We have Isaac George, DSM Sinister, Anthony Phillips, Sybil, Wallow J, SD Johnson, MML, and shout out to Cornell Sly for kicking off the super chats in a very huge way with the $99.99, which is, we'll just round it up to the hundo. I appreciate it. He says, continue success, brother Taurean. I appreciate it. Shout out to you. Let's see who else do we have in here. Denise Scales, Dark Titan, DSA1, Shamika Gray, Savion Draco Zero, DSB, Don P, Ozzy Edward. Shout out to you. Excuse me. For the 10. He says, Fat Albert just love attention now, don't he? If you look up asinine in the dictionary, a picture of him would be there. That's putting it lightly. I don't think there's enough insults in the English language to describe how terrible and horrible this individual is.
You ain't got to be a dope boy to have money.
We got, I can't pronounce your name, but the one who left the comment under Shamika's latest comment is spelled LO?DWHUNNO. I can't pronounce that name, but shout out to you. We got Chris Vesey, Marco Hinton, Troy Scott, Robert Brown, Dark Titan, Kid Gravity. At first, I was getting ready to say, what do you mean happy YouTube day? And then it just dawned on me because I actually just saw my email, but I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I know they're doing something funny with my channel as of recently because I've been noticing it, especially now. I don't know if it's because it's an election cycle, but something tells me after this election is over, everything is probably going to balance itself back out. But it's like the algorithm. Before I get into the topic, the YouTube algorithm is always constantly changing. I mean, that thing changes more times than people change their draws. And the thing is, they'll never tell you that it's changing. You just got to kind of find out. So that's why my numbers are really off right now. Like, I mean, they are really, really off. But that's why I said, I feel like after this election is over, everything is going to go back because everything was fine up until it got to the last month or the crunch time of the election. And then that's when I started to know some ish happening. And then once after November the 5th, maybe the week after, I don't know, then everything is probably going to balance itself back out. It's like if you're not consistently talking about anything dealing with this election cycle, it's like you're kind of like discarded. And the thing is, I've seen it on other people's channels as well. So I know I'm not the only one. But that's fine because next week I'm doing a whole political dump. Like I have a whole bunch of like election-based videos that I recorded, and I'm uploading all of them next week. So y'all about to get a marathon of videos from me all next week. Every political, like every election type video that I recorded over the last week or two, you're getting all of them next week. I said, let me just go ahead and just dump them all the week before the election. One of them I might actually put up the day before the election. So be prepared for that. That is true too, Ozzy. It says especially changes when you're true to exactly. Because let me tell you, my subscriber count is at 69,882 or something like that. And it's been stuck in that range for the last month. And I would check, it would jump to like 3 subscribers, then it would drop 3 or drop 4, then it would go up 5 and then drop 5. So it's like I know that they're doing something, and because I've seen this happen before. I've seen this happen before. It was a while ago, but I saw it happen, and it lasted. When that happened, it lasted damn near 2 months before everything got back on track. And then it, like for some reason, I don't know if it was a video I put out there, got into the algorithm, and I took off again. But anyway, y'all don't want to hear about that. Y'all here to talk about, or hear me talk about this fool Jason Whitlock in this comment that he made talking about Caitlin Clark being a slave. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, really, dude? I mean, we know that you love Caitlin Clark, but come on now, like this is definitely a bridge too far. Just like and shout out to everybody that was going in on that video that I did today about them shills trying to say that that Kamala Harris was distant cousins with Aaliyah. Y'all was going in the comment section, as I knew y'all would. Because for some of y'all, that was the first time ever hearing about that. I said, when I bring this video to my audience, they not going to know what hit them. But I found this article on the Daily Mail. I can't remember if somebody sent this to me or if I just stumbled across it. And it was posted on September 27, 2024. And it says, Jason Whitlock says Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote slave who Black WNBA players are exploiting to boost their profile. Now, isn't that interesting that he's talking about how Black NBA players are exploiting her to boost their profile? Meanwhile, he does that all the time with Black athletes. That's what he was doing with her. He was talking about her even when to overhype her up, like many of them have already done, or to say how sloppy she's been. This man is still talking about her now as we speak. And he's talking about they were exploiting her. No, that's what you were doing. This must be him talking about himself, and he's getting confused because this dude was talking about her every single chance that he got in order to throw the black basketball, the Black WNBA players under the bus, especially Angel Reese. I mean, how many videos has he put up on his page talking about this woman every single day? This is literally a pot meet kettle moment. So let's see what they're talking about on here. Jason Whitlock is adding fuel to the simmering racial tensions in the WNBA by equating white superstar Caitlin Clark to an African-American slave. His words, not ours.
Damn. It's a bunch of bull.
What did you say, nigga?
Caitlin Clark, y'all, listen to me, y'all. What I'm about to read is a direct quote from him. He said Caitlin Clark is Kunta Clark. And forgive all these ads, y'all. Unfortunately, I'm on the Daily Mail, and you know the Daily Mail loves to have a bunch of ads in order to stay on their site. He's called this woman, he called her Kunta Clark. The sports podcaster said, likening the WNBA Rookie of the Year to the enslaved protagonist of Alex Haley's 1976 bestseller Roots. She's the actual slave that everybody else is exploiting for their benefit. Whitlock's comparison followed a series of attacks on Black American players whom he painted as, and I quote, angry Black feminists. He specifically called out Chicago Sky rookie Angel Reese, of course he did, and Connecticut Sun forward Alyssa Thomas, both of whom have been vocal about the racist comments directed at players by fans. He said Angel Reese is included at the top of that list. And now Alyssa Thomas is like, let me get my piece, Whitlock said. Whitlock also accused the Suns' Dejanay Carrington of intentionally poking Clark in the eye during a recent game, something that Indiana Fever guard has rejected. Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye, injured, black eye. You can still see the black eye, Whitlock said Friday, as quoted by Fox Sports Radio 790. Following the most successful regular season in league history, the ongoing WNBA postseason is at risk of being overshadowed by controversy. While many Clark supporters have accused the league of conspiring against its biggest star, a number of players had voiced frustrations about racist fan abuse, much of which appears to come from Clark supporters. It's not much of what appears to come from Clark supporters. It is what comes from the Clark supporters. I think that in my 11-year career, I have never experienced the racial comments like from the Indiana Fever fan base, Thomas said Thursday. Clark addressed the racist remarks directed at her Black colleagues with reporters on Friday following the Fever's first-round playoff defeat at the hands of the Sun. Which, by the way, this article came out before Indiana got swept. This is when they were still in the playoffs, but by of course, now they've been out. It's definitely upsetting, Clark said Friday morning. Nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization, the WNBA. Here's the problem I have with Caitlin Clark's response to this. It's too late. Why didn't she say all of what she just said right here months ago when it was starting to kick off? Why wait and let it fester over an entire season to finally say something? I guess when it was the right time. That's why I had to go in on the WNBA when they released that statement. When I did that video, what was it, yesterday? And I said, too little, too late. Y'all are talking about this now when the damage was already done. Y'all should have nipped that in the bud before it got to this point. So I take what she says with a grain of salt. Things were bad enough for the WNBA to address the issues in a statement this week. The WNBA is a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. Reading the league statement, while we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, and anyone affiliated with the league. Meanwhile, Fox Sports analyst Nick Wright is insisting that racists use Clark's popularity to spread hate towards Black WNBA players. You don't say. Keep in mind, they also went in on Caitlin Clark for liking a post by Taylor Swift because she that was endorsing Kamala Harris and said, "Oh, we can't be fans of you anymore." Y'all told yourselves of who you are, and y'all wonder why I can't support either side of the political aisle. He says you got this boatload of quote unquote. They should have put quote new fans because these aren't fans. Let's be real here. These are not fans. Because Caitlin Clark is box office, the FS1 host said on his What's Right program. But unfortunately and inevitably, the league should have seen this train coming down the tracks on that bandwagon where folks that weren't fans of basketball, that weren't even actual fans of Caitlin Clark. Let me see. Okay, so there's nothing else. So that's the whole article right there. So yeah, this dude, Jason Whitlock, compared her to a slave and then called her Kunta Clark. That's crazy. You know what is very upsetting about that statement is that you have this I'm gonna say placebo black man making a comment like that about this white woman that he doesn't even know. She doesn't know him. She probably heard of him, but she doesn't know him from a can of paint. And through the label of she's being treated like a slave. No, she's not. If Caitlin Clark was being treated like our ancestors, well, I'm gonna just leave it like that. I'm gonna leave it alone. All I'm saying is that was a bad comparison. That was one of the most horrible comparisons you could ever make. There is no way you can tell me that there is anyone in her lineage that can say that they ever experienced what it's like to be a slave in this establishment, or to know what it feels like to be one. They're gonna say exploiting her to boost their profile. That's what you've been doing every chance you got. Anytime something happened with her, good or bad, here you come to say or just say something ridiculous on her behalf. Now, I wanted to segue a little bit into these two other articles because I thought this was very interesting. So, as y'all all know, Caitlin Clark did get Rookie of the Year. I'm not surprised by that because they literally campaigned hard for her to get Rookie of the Year. They needed her to win something because she didn't win in college. She didn't win at the ESPYs. Well, at least she didn't win the award they wanted her to win at the ESPYs. She definitely wasn't winning this championship this year. And you want to know what's so funny? All them fools, all them fools was saying how, remember when Angel Reese got injured and she had to sit out for the rest of the season? They were all cheering and applauding that Angel Reese, they felt like she was the hurdle that's out of the way. And the thing is, I don't think Chicago even made it to the playoffs. So, I mean, it wasn't like that. It wasn't much of a hurdle anyway. But they felt she was a stumbling block in Caitlin Clark's way. And they were all cheering and whatnot, only for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever to get to the playoffs and not win one game. And that's without Angel Reese even being there. Talk about some karma. Then they up there saying, oh, the ratings are going to go down now because Caitlin Clark's not in the league no more. Meanwhile, you had other people who actually like to watch the WNBA saying, well, now we can finally watch it in peace without her fans and their agenda literally piggybacking right behind her. And shout out to Ozzy for the 10. He says all the cholesterol in those biscuits is affecting this clown's brain. Y'all are crazy in these comments. Oh, and someone else had left a comment
When you're
too.
successful, you got new friends like Benjamin, Ulysses, and my favorite, Woodrow.
It was somebody else who left a comment. I forgot who it was talking about Ozempic. I meant to read that comment, but it's all the way at the top now. I'm not scrolling back up. But yeah, they're all of that. And she still lost and lost badly. I mean, you got swept. You didn't the Fever didn't win one game in the series. And then the WNBA going to say, well, next year we're going to do best out of 7. They would not have done that if they would have kept on going. And I said, so let's just hypothetically say, you're going to do best out of 7, guess 4 out of 7 next year. What's going to happen if, say, Indiana doesn't make it again? You can't up it anymore. 7 is your limit. But I brought this article up because, yes, Caitlin Clark got Rookie of the Year. They had to give her something to satisfy her stan base. But what I thought was very, very funny about this was that if y'all look at the title, it says Caitlin Clark was one Angel Reese vote from being unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year. So basically what it is there's 67 votes, if I'm not mistaken. Caitlin Clark got 66 votes. The one vote that made her not be unanimous went to Angel Reese. And when I tell you those Caitlin Clark stands erupted with envy and being pissed off and mad and in their feelings. Oh my God, you would have thought it was the end of the world. I'm like, See, the thing is, it's not the fact that she didn't just get the unanimous decision of being rookie of the year, meaning that she got it by a landslide, meaning everyone voted for her. It's the fact that she didn't get the unanimous decision and lost it because of Angel Reese. So because of one person voted for Angel Reese and they lost their minds. I swear if it was anyone else but Angel Reese, they probably wouldn't have, but because it was her, they lost their minds. I mean, they went ballistic on X behind this. And I was scrolling through the comments and I was just chuckling at it. I'm like, but your girl, she got it. That's what y'all wanted, right? No, that's not what they want. They wanted her to be. See, the thing is, Angel Reese is always going to live rent-free in their head. Ever since she did the You Can't See Me thing, she has been living rent-free in their head for over a year. And they want Caitlin Clark to beat Angel Reese at all costs, and it's not happening the way they want. Even when she does get an award, it's still not enough. Brother Mincy, you said how many games did Caitlin Clark play against Angel Reese? I don't know because I don't know their schedule. But if I had to guess, maybe 5, maybe 4 or 5. Okay, I was gonna say 4. Kid Gravity guy was 4. And KG said it was 40. It was the votes was out of 40. I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was 67. Either way, she didn't get the unanimous decision. And when they found out the one vote went to Angel Reese, they got extremely irate. They could barely contain themselves. Oh, it was 67. Okay, cool. They could barely contain themselves. But I knew Angel Reese wasn't going to get Rookie of the Year because they kept pushing Caitlin Clark so much. If Caitlin Clark wasn't a factor, Angel Reese probably would have got Rookie of the Year, or it would have been the votes would have been close. But I knew that was going to happen. I knew they was going to give her Rookie of the Year. Now it's crazy. You want to know what's so funny? Caitlin Clark got Rookie of the Year before Indiana got swept in the postseason. Those votes went out before she got swept. And it was very close. It was very close when it happened. But you know what? Angel Reese, I think Angel's going to be fine. The woman had endorsements coming out of college, and even in the WNBA. She's going to be good regardless. As long as she, keeps her head on straight, she should be good. Because I think she had released a video talking about like the pay in the WNBA, which we're not surprised by, because there's always been a pay discrepancy with the WNBA for years. Like it's people who work regular jobs who get paid more than some of these women do. KG says, wait until Paige, Juju, and the girl from NC State cash out their NILs, which would be more than Caitlin Clark's. Louise says they're not giving Kennedy Carter or Asia Wilson any attention. And that's a shame because Asia Wilson is hands down like a very superior player. Hands down. I've seen this woman ball and she be going in, and I can see why she gets all the accolades that she does. It's just that she doesn't get the attention she deserves. Brother Manti says, how many years is Caitlin Clark contracted for? Well, KG, you know what? I'm gonna let KG answer these questions because I don't be knowing some of them. He said 4 years. And see, that's why a person between a real. I bet you, if you ask any of these so-called Caitlin Clark fans questions like you are asking in this chat, none of them could answer it. And the thing is, KG is not even I don't want to speak directly for him. I let him answer for himself. KG, are you a Caitlin Clark fan? Nightfall says, here's a stat they can't deny. For all the trolling these SWS stands claim, the WNBA ticket sales are still down and the league will still lose money again. So they really aren't supporting Caitlin Clark. Oh, Nightfall. You literally just helped me and helped us to segue into the next article, because that's the last thing I wanted to talk about as it pertains to this. But before we get there, shout out to Ozzy Edwards again for the 5. He said, Juju will have the league saying Caitlyn, who?
What I say for you? Tell them to bring me my money.
Because look at this article that came out today. This article came out today. I found out about it, though, a couple of days ago, and thanks to KG because he posted it up on his community tab. But this is an article that just posted up today. WNBA to lose $40 million in the 2024 season, and the NBA won't see return for years. Because remember, the NBA is what keeps the WNBA afloat. So they said the WNBA is going to lose $40 million, and it's going to be years before the NBA sees a return. NBA investors reportedly growing impatient after pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into the WNBA. That is not a good thing. Why? Because just based off of this title, before I even get into all the details in the article, just reading the title, if they wanted to pull the plug on the WNBA today, just by looking at that, they could, if they wanted to. And saying we are literally feeding a decaying organization. We cannot afford to do it anymore. Like they said, it won't. They said for years. They didn't say a year. They didn't say 2 years. They didn't even give a number. They said for years. So that means it's a question mark on when the NBA is going to see that money back. Now, keep in mind, all these Caitlin Clark stands said, oh, she's the face of the league. She's bringing money in and all this and third. Apparently, she can't be doing that much. Well, you know what? I won't even put it all on her. Her stands. I keep telling people, I said, all these people that keep saying they support her and all that, all of them people probably never been to one of her games. They support her online. Online support does not bring financial support. $40 million that they lost. You want to know what's so interesting? When I first saw this up on X, because I looked it up on X, it was posted, it was from that Clark report thing that basically created a whole page on X dedicated to Caitlin Clark. People in the comment section, instead of getting upset that they didn't do anything to contribute to making this money, they got upset because it came from the New York Post. I said, wait a minute. Y'all were upset because it came from the New York Post, where I'm sure the New York Post probably got it from ESPN or another sports outlet to put that and create their own article about it, which was basically telling the same thing that all the other ones were saying. They got more pissed that it came from the New York Post. Now let's see what they're talking about on here. And by the way, this is not Caitlin Clark. That's not Caitlin Clark. It says the Women's National Basketball Association, or the WNBA, is set to lose $40 million this season, and the National Basketball Association, or the NBA, won't see any returns from the league for the foreseeable future, according to the New York Post. What did we just say? The New York Post. So this article got their stuff from the New York Post. It has been a record-breaking campaign for the WNBA, which has posted record viewership and attendances that have been fueled by a standout draft class spearheaded by Indiana Fever sensation Caitlin Clark. The league is set to announce its ratings for this year's finals, which were won by the New York Liberty, but it has been confirmed that the playoffs were the most viewed in 25 years across ESPN platforms. Now, what's crazy is, like I said, the Indiana Fever, they got eliminated in the first round. The rounds pretty much as far as I know, work the same in the WNBA. It might be a little bit less like it does in the NBA. So that means people were still watching even after she got eliminated. The WNBA also had its most watched regular season in 24 years at the end of September. Denise, Miss Nisa, you know they got to overinflate it. However, that engagement is yet to translate to the bottom line for the NBA, which reportedly owns 60% of the WNBA and has pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into the league since its 1996 formation. The New York Post also states that when combining the NBA owners' personal stakes in WNBA teams and the WNBA itself, the ownership amount rises to 75%. An NBA executive told the New York Post, the WNBA owes the NBA so much, we won't see any windfall for years. If I was the WNBA, I would be shaking right now. I would be shook. Because I'm telling you right now, if I was in Adam Silver's position and I heard this and I saw this, I'm like, look, sorry, but y'all are a bad investment right now. We are going to have to put y'all on ice. But then it's going to be messed up because, you know, there's some women out there that actually enjoy to play the sport of basketball. For them, it might not be the money, and it can be because they ain't paying them that much. The purported loss of $40 million is an improvement on the $50 million that was projected earlier this year. What's $10 million? That means they weren't off by much. They put out a prediction of how much the WNBA would lose, not how much they would gain, how much they was going to lose. They said $50 million at the beginning of the year, and they lost 40. They weren't far off. That's crazy. It says, however, it doesn't disguise that the WNBA still remains unprofitable, with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver saying in 2018 that the WNBA had lost an average of more than $10 million annually since its founding. Now, keep this in mind, y'all. $10 million annually a year since its founding in 1996. That was 24 years ago. I'm sorry, not 24 years ago, 28 years ago. And they lost so 10 million a year for 28 years. Now that's understandable if it's your first year because you're just getting your feet off the ground. But up 10 million a year? Now, mind you, the WNBA, their seasons are very, very short. Like the WNBA season typically starts like in May, like that's like around that May, and runs through early October. It's a much shorter season than the NBA because the NBA starts in October and runs all the way to June of the following year. So of course they play more games, longer seasons, so on and so forth. But she's 10 million a year since 1996. That is crazy. And then there's always been a thing of like, well, what Figure John just said. He says no one in their right mind can compare the NBA to the WNBA. The WNBA ball is smaller, so why not lower the rim to 9 feet? And also another thing that people always had an issue with when it came to the WNBA is the lack of dunking. Because one of the bigger highlights when it comes to the NBA is when they dunk. Shoot, they have a whole dunk contest in the All-Star game. They said if they would let some of these women dunk, it would probably, I don't know how much it would boost it, but it would make it exciting. Because let's be real here, whenever you go to a basketball game and you see someone drive the ball down and they dunk it, that gets the crowd hype. And the team could be down by like 20 points and it'll still get the people hype. Because that's a spectacle to see. But they can't even dunk in the WNBA. I can't remember the last women's basketball player that did it. I know some have done it, but I know Lisa Leslie did it. I remember Lisa Leslie was one of the first to do it. That's why it became that's what really blew her name up was when she did that dunk. It says the WNBA is set to get as much as $2.2 billion over 11 years from the 2026 season as part of the NBA's next domestic broadcast rights deals, with the league also set to offer 2 additional packages of matchups independent of the NBA, which could push revenues even higher, possibly as high as the $260 million a season. The WNBA currently makes around $60 million annually from its current domestic media contracts. The regular season and playoff schedule will also expand from next season to help generate more revenue. Players, though are reportedly expected to opt out of the current collective bargaining contract by the November 1st deadline. If they do, it would mean salaries are likely to rise, which would affect profits. And guess what they probably going to end up doing? They're going to say, oh, Caitlin Clark did that. Just like they said Caitlin Clark was the reason why they got private jets. Oh, yeah, y'all throwing Brittany Griner. What? Okay. Brittany Griner was apparently the most recent one to do it, which doesn't surprise me because Brittany Griner is very tall. It says, while the WNBA has prioritized expansion, the Golden State Valkyries joined in the competition in 2025 ahead of the teams from Toronto and Portland in 2026. The NBA team executive told the New York Post that none of the league's owners were, quote, getting any money from WNBA expansion fees. The report adds that some NBA owners, including the New York Knicks' James Dolan, want more transparency from Silver about when they will get to see some return from the WNBA. He said, there's a bunch of owners who see Dolan as their hero for pressing Silver on these questions, but Silver is not giving us any answers. The unnamed executive also hit back at comments from Mike Bass, the NBA's executive vice president of communications, who told the New York Post that WNBA financials, including detailed reports on revenue and expenses, are shared with both the NBA's and WNBA board of governors. That is somewhat BS, and they are consolidating it with NBA financials, the team executive said. By consolidating numbers, you don't have to break out any of them. So there it is right there. It shows you that the WNBA is losing money, and you have all these Caitlin Clark stands saying she's going to change the league. She's bringing money in. Well, if she's bringing all this money in, I couldn't tell. They lost $40 million. And they projected them to lose 50. So they wasn't far off. But anyway, y'all, I posted the link in the Discord. I didn't mean to I forgot to post the Discord link to join at the top. My bad. Forgive me for doing that. I have to remember that for tomorrow because I will be going live tomorrow. But the link to join the discussion is right there in the Discord. So for those of y'all who are in the Discord, feel free to come on up. And KG, I will honor your request. Ms. Nisa said, you trying to pull my move. All right, let me get this off the screen. Oh, guess who's first?
We back again. What's up, brother? How you doing? B1 to you.
B1.
Man, I just got a couple of quick things to say. It's very sad that a lot of the women in the league is going to have to suffer from what you just read. And
yeah, that's the bad part.
Yeah, and all the Caitlin Clark fans who are running around here trying to pump her head up, giving her awards and things like that. I've never seen a person win Rookie of the Year while losing and getting swept at the same time. It's preposterous. Mm-hmm. But I just want to end on this note. Do you remember that excuse my nephew. Do you remember that fat vampire from Blade?
Oh, Pearl?
Yeah, that's Jason Whitlock. That's what Jason Whitlock reminds me.
It's crazy because I was actually just watching some reaction channels react to that movie. I think last week, and that part is so disgusting. I can only imagine how it smelled. I mean, well, I don't know how they did it on the set, but I'm, in their world watching it for them to act it out, how that would smell.
I'm pretty sure it smelled like the back of Jason Whitlock's neck. I'm pretty sure. But peace and B1T family. I'll talk to you later.
Shout out to Church for coming up. Next, we got Wallow J. You slipping
Oh
again.
no, I wasn't even trying today, man. No, to see what happened was I was doing something, so you know,
Mhm.
church, you can have that. But anyway, everybody know I'm king. But anyway, I'm gonna piggyback off what Church said. I do feel bad for them because they go through all this stuff, you know, with the Liberty. Congratulations to them. You had Breonna Stewart. They was sending death threats to her and her wife, and it's like I understand you don't like their lifestyle, but why are you threatening her wife for and her for? They ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark, but they threatening every damn body, talking junk to the women. It's like, bro, like, and they even came out and said this is the most disrespectful time in the league they ever seen. Is all because of her fans, and she's gonna learn. I know she's not on social media like that. That's still no excuse for her. She's gonna learn that she's kind of the reason that these fans are the way they are because they felt like, well, we can say whatever we want to. Well, she said something, but it wasn't like a definitive like stop doing this. It was just like, yeah, it was like a simple, yeah, they need to stop doing it, da 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 da. So they looking at it like, oh, we still gonna go in. Because they may not talk about her no more, but wait until I would say February, March, they'll start talking. They'll let her die down, all this other stuff, and then once, like I just said, late February, March, April, that's when it's gonna wrap up all over again. It's like, all right, it's time to mute all y'all. I ain't got time for this, but I'm gonna land my plane there, Taurean. B1.
Shout out to Wallow J for coming up. And I'm assuming no one's coming up after this because this person said they wanted to be the last to come up. So if y'all missed it, then I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. KG, what's going on?
The same old as. I was gonna troll, but I couldn't get that picture that quick. But you know, it is what it is. Fat boy.
Wait, did you know that he said this?
Yeah, I showed that to you. Remember?
Oh.
I think I sent that to you.
Oh, so you were the one that sent this. See,
Yeah.
I'll be forgetting because I was literally like had this in the backlog for the last couple of weeks because I had to get through these others.
Yeah, but the griff is over. But yeah, there's a way to grow the W organically. It's just they gonna have to do a little bit of maneuvering.
Hold on right quick. Jay, you're gonna have to come back up tomorrow. I said I was gonna allow KG to be the last person to speak. You should have clicked that button faster. He dropped off. He dropped off. Yeah, come back up tomorrow. We're gonna be going live tomorrow. But go ahead.
I say y'all start that season in January.
You mean like right during the? You mean during the?
It's not playoffs. No, it's not playoffs. January the season is like it's right before the All-Star game.
No, I'm talking about the playoffs for the NFL.
They play the NBA during that.
But let's be real here. Are they going to really get coverage?
They might. Nobody. You got to understand. They're starting in the summer. Nobody cares.
Shoot, no one's going to care. No,
they might care in January though. Because once the Super Bowl is over, it's only basketball until March. I'm sorry, until April. And then you got baseball starting. But see, you could conceivably finish you could do the season 40 games. You could do that.
Well, also the thing is that would be a bad spot because look, you'd have the playoffs for the NFL that's running across to the Super Bowl. Okay, so they only got like a month with that. You still got the NBA. That's their basically the second half of there's not even the second half.
That would be the end of their first half.
It'll be end of the first half, but you still also have college basketball,
which the NBA goes against.
College football.
No, college football done by then. Remember, college football finishes the second week of January.
Yeah, you're right. So you have,
and it would help them organically because you can include them in the NBA All-Star game.
But you have college basketball going on at that time too.
Not during February though. I mean, during February, it's just at most it's the conference, like the conference championships.
Well, for those out there who are hockey fans, they ain't gonna go see it.
hockey don't really ramp up to honestly to late March, because that's when everybody's fighting for seeding. And you could work it with the angle with the NBA. You could add that incentive, okay, say the Lynx, they play, right? They probably play in the Target Center. You could do a deal where, okay, if you buy, let's say the Timberwolves have 3 games at home and you schedule a Link game there, you give them the Link game for a discounted price. So you're incentivizing people to go back to the stadium to go see these women play.
So would they also so you say start in February? Would would they still have the same amount of games? Or
No, I said start in January. You could start that week, the week after the national championship. Hell, you could start the games on Martin Luther King Day.
Would they still have the same amount of games?
Yeah, 40 games. You would be finished by May.
So basically be finishing by the time they would
you'd be finished by late May, early June. They got to switch something up.
Yeah, because basically you're saying doing it in the summer is not working.
No, because you're going against baseball.
Yeah. And you're going against vacations too.
And it's not going to help them in 2 years when the World Cup is in
America. Yeah, in LA. Yeah.
No, no, it's going to be all over the country.
Oh, you said World Cup. I thought you were talking about the Olympics.
No. The World Cup, they're doing it in Canada, here, and Mexico. There's games in every city. I mean, that might help them in 26, because especially if you could schedule these games around when people are here for the World Cup, maybe you could do a deal with.
When is the World Cup supposed to be?
That's usually, I want to say, July, August.
I mean, what year?
26.
In 2 years, oh my God, it's gonna be a madhouse.
How you think? I'm down here in Atlanta, and they're one of the host sites. Dude, most of the tickets are gone. Because they're playing at Mercedes-Benz, so most of the tickets are gone.
Man, I can tell
New York, they got games in DC.
They're gonna have to shut the city down.
Oh, DC is gonna be crazy. Because DC, I know, is a home site. I think they're playing where the Redskins are playing.
Let me see. I'm gonna look up. I want to see what cities are hosting the World
Cup. I know New York, Jersey, the New York tri-state area, Chicago, LA. I think somewhere in Texas, Atlanta, Miami, wherever they got the big Spanish populations, that's where they're gonna have the games.
All right, I'm looking at it now. For the U.S., it's Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, L.A., Miami, New Jersey, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Seattle.
I thought they said D.C., man.
No, they would never put nothing like that in D.C.
Why not? Don't y'all have a soccer team down there?
We have a soccer team, and I'm glad, and for that I'm glad, because I know exactly what that's. No, the reason why is because the soccer stadium is right next to the baseball stadium. Literally, they're walking distance from each other. That would be a madhouse having that and baseball going on at the same time. That would be a mess. It would be the detours in DC are no fun. If I have to detour that much, I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying home.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was down in your city during detours. Everything's one way.
Detours are the worst. Because the thing is about DC is nothing. For those who don't know the landmark of DC is nothing but a bunch of one ways. And the thing is, if you get turned around one time, GPS be damned, you're gonna be turned all the way around. Oh, yeah. Trust me. That happened to me. That happened to me one time. One time I was supposed to be going somewhere to take me about. It was supposed to take me about 20 minutes. It took me about an hour because I made one wrong turn. One wrong turn.
Yeah. Y'all's U Street ain't crazy. It's no joke, bro.
Yeah.
But
that's where all the that's all the locations.
If the NBA really cares about this sport, they should be incorporating them in All-Star Weekend. But they don't. They barely do that. I mean, look how much attention they got between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu.
True. That would be, now that I think about in hindsight, that actually wouldn't be a bad idea. But then at the end of the day, we don't run it. So all you can do is just throw out an idea, but they don't have to listen to us.
If you're going to have the celebrity game, you might as well have the celebrities play the best of the WNBA. Might as well. Shit. I mean, people already. I know they have dwindling ratings of the All-Star game because every 2 years they're changing the format, but you would get more eyes on these players.
Mm-hmm.
They got to start bringing in better advertisers. You can't have your players going out getting deals on their own. You got to bring deals in that's going to benefit everybody.
Yeah, that's why.
Where's American Express?
That's why when Angel Reese was like posting up and talking about it, like, you know, she was saying how like the WNBA doesn't be paying like that. And I said, you preaching to the choir, because we already knew that. We already found out what some of y'all salaries is. And like I said, there's some people out there that work regular jobs.
Look who jumped in your chat.
More.
Look who jumped in your chat.
Oh, is that the real? Is that really
That's
him?
the real him. Tell him to come up here. I got some questions. Trying to get up.
Wow.
He's still mad at me for what I said. Come, you know what? This is your show. If you want to bring him up, I'll leave.
I'm trying to think. Should I or shouldn't I?
Hey, what can it hurt? It's a conversation, ain't it?
Let me see. I'm curious. He said headed for a conference call.
He lied, sir. I talked about you months ago, and you left a comment in my comment thread calling me retarded.
He said I don't. He said I don't.
He know exactly who you're hot. So how do you know that you were talking about it? You didn't tag him. See what I mean?
Wow.
But it's up to you, brother. You know what I mean? It's up to you. I'll be out. I'll leave you to that decision. But anyway, I'll see y'all later.
Wow. Who would have thought that Jason Whitlock would have popped up in my chat? Little old me. Should I do it, chat? And it's crazy. I was just sitting here talking about at the beginning how I feel like you two don't be pushing my stuff out there. And somehow he found it. All right, y'all. I posted the StreamYard link in the chat. There's a way to figure out if that's really him. Hold on, y'all. There's a way to figure this. Hold on, y'all. Let me mute. Y'all, that is definitely him. Because I went and clicked on his picture in the chat, and it took me right to his channel. Lehman Lucas, no, that's him. I clicked on his name in the chat. I went to YouTube off of StreamYard and I clicked it, and sure enough, it took me right to his channel. That's him. No, the show ain't over. Like, it just got very interesting because Jason Whitlock popped up in my chat. I was not expecting that one. He said, "Keep talking, bro. My Zoom starts in 3 minutes." Jason, you came over to my chat. We just trying to figure out why you made that comment. We pulled up the article and everything and had your quote in it and what you said as it pertained to Caitlin Clark. And I thought you was getting ready for a show. KG, that's the only way that could have happened. That's the only way that could have happened. Because this isn't the first time we've addressed comments that he's made and it had his name in the title, but he never came over before. Oh, he said he gotta go. Well, we tried, y'all. I had the link there. AKG, you want to come back up? AKG, come back, hit the link and come back up.
All lies will be exposed, and whoever take it the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. Truth is life.
Yeah, because I wasn't even paying attention to the chat. I was looking directly at the screen when I was talking.
I be looking.
And I'm like, what in the world? I was like, what are you doing over here?
He searches for himself. That's why I called him, and he didn't even realize I called him. I said, bruh, I did a video on you. I didn't tag you.
Right, because I didn't tag you.
And you found it, right, and you found it and left a comment.
Yep, and the thing, it was the same picture under your video because I saw that comment. It was the same exact picture. And I went over and I muted myself on here and went on to YouTube and I went on in the chat and clicked it, and sure enough, it took me right to his channel.
I listen, because he wasn't going to do it live and stand on what he said.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, he can't say that we made it up because we pulled it up, and those were your direct quotes,
right?
And that was pulled from a video. That was a transcript.
Mm-hmm. You called her a slave,
and saying that she's being exploited. I'm like, aren't you not doing the same thing?
And you see, before he ran, after he ran, I said, why do you hate Deion Sanders? Because he's successful. So you also know he lied, right?
About what?
He said he was getting ready for a conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What the hell are you doing on YouTube if you're going on Zoom?
Exactly.
He just proved that he searches for himself.
His best, which also, I'm glad you said that, which also means that he could be lurking in these YouTube streets. He may not leave a comment every time, but today he must have felt compelled to say good evening.
Because what else is he going to talk about? He can't talk about the finals are over. Baseball is about to start up for the World Series. Basketball starts tomorrow. What's he going to talk about? There's nothing to talk about.
And the NFL is underway.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's that great a game tonight. So there's nothing to talk about. So now he gonna go. I'm sure when he finished tomorrow or Wednesday, he gonna say something about this.
People saying save the comment section.
I think you should just cut this part out and put that up as a separate upload. Hold on one second. Just make sure you enhance the chat.
That was unexpected, chat. Who saw that coming? Y'all said not exactly. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that one coming.
Hey, that's a great way to start off your week.
Has he ever come into your live chat before?
No, he just left a comment.
Well, I know he had left a comment, but what did he say exactly? Or like
he called me retarded.
Oh.
It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was like, that's the best you got. I'm retarded.
What was the video about?
You know, I'm gonna tell you right now because I have my thing open. I want to say it was either the one I did when he talked to Mark Lamar Hill. You know what? Let me just check it because I didn't have that many comments on there. Might have been that one. Well, maybe not that one. It says I only did like 5 videos on them, which I felt like it was more, but whatever. Maybe it was the Simone Biles one. I know it was a live stream, so it might have been that one. It might have been that one. So let me see. Yeah, basically he called me retarded. like my take was that bad. I'm like, okay, dude.
No, what got me was when he left the comment talking about he's not too familiar or good with this technology stuff.
And you saw what I said, right?
I missed it.
I said, you damn sure explained what happened to you with Google in January. When he got caught, when everybody saw what he was Googling. Yeah. He sure as hell was sitting there for a whole day explaining it. But, you know, you let him lie, so it's okay.
And y'all are all, and everyone in the chat, y'all are all the witnesses.
That was really him.
I kind of figured that was him too, because like even when I went into the chat before I clicked on his name, it was grayed.
Yeah,
it had the gray box around it.
What's my wife must be ripping up the street. Oh, it was on the one I did about I said Jason Whitlock calls Dion about Jason Whitlock. Wait, what was the title? Jason Whitlock, the shocking comparison. Jason Whitlock compares Dion to Jim Jones when he called him a cult leader. And of course, he came in a comment and said, "I'm not a Freemason. No way, Dion might be."
But what I thought was also very interesting too is that we was up here for, well, before he came up, nearly an hour, and then he popped up in the chat where you was up here. So my
was
thing is this:
He was
like I said,
listening.
he probably said something when you came up because he was familiar with you. You was his first encounter.
Yeah. That's why he tried to lie and say he didn't know who I was. I'm like, you a damn lie.
Mm.
I think maybe that was the video. Maybe that video I tagged him in.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. No, I didn't tag him. I used AI for that. He be searching for his name.
Yeah, he had to because, like I said, like you said, I didn't tag him. Like I didn't put at Jason Whitlock, and because if I did that, it would have showed up in his notifications. It would have said Taurean Rain Reloaded mentioned you here, and he would have got it. Then I can understand. Oh, that's how he saw it, but it's not tagged, which means again, you might have a point. He had to have looked his name up, and this popped up, and he saw that it was live. He was like, "Oh, let me just go over here," and he must have heard something, like I said, to compel him to say something in the chat because. For all we know, he could have been lurking this entire time, but then when it got to a certain point, that's when he decided to leave that comment.
Yeah, I'm looking at all my videos. I've never tagged him. So how do you know?
Exactly. Hey, y'all, listen. That was very interesting, but I'm about to go and end this live. I meant to end it, about a while ago, but then that happened and it kind of threw me off a little bit. But KG, I need you to stay up here because I needed to talk to you about something in the back chat. But shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to all of the people that contributed into the super chat. I don't know if I got anything through the Cash App, but if I did, shout out to you as well. This live went and took a very interesting turn that we did not see coming. But shout out to all of the members, everybody on Patreon. Shout out to all the people over on Instagram, Discord, X, and all of that good stuff. We will be back tomorrow. Have another, the premiere tomorrow, which I'm gonna put up a little bit later. And also we have another live coming tomorrow at the same time as well. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of the evening. Be safe and be well.